everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Caitlin. I am 23 and this is my booktube channel. For today's video, we're going to be reorganizing my entire library. Things you need to know about my library. This is what we're working with. I have this one shelf that is pretty much filled to the brim with books that sits above my bed. My room is very small. So with the exception of this one shelf, I have a little corner shelf that also has books on it. However, not as many as this shelf does. So that shelf has all of my dance books because I was a dance major. It has a bunch of notebooks and coloring books and stuff like that. 2 shelves are filled with decor, and then the top of it has my contemporary romance selection. Now, I recently did beef up that contemporary romance selection quite a bit. So we'll see if it stays contemporary romance. I feel like it will because I don't know what else I would put there in its place. So these are the vast majority of my selection, with the exception of a book bin that I have downstairs in the basement with the rest of my stuff because I am planning to move within the year, hopefully. And some of these books might go down there. Like this stack of books might go down there. I might throw The Wizard of Oz and Wicked down there as well. And also, this is a double copy. I already have a copy of Trial of the Sun Queen, and I recently got another copy gifted to me, which was very sweet. I don't need 2 copies of a book I haven't read yet. So some of these books definitely are going to get rearranged. This whole side is stacked once. And then this side, we've got several series. We've got Shadowhunters back there, Harry Potter's back there, all of my Kingdom Keepers books are back there. And then theoretically, it was series I had read go against the back, and my TBR goes to the front. But that all got rearranged when I made my mid-year reading wrap-up video. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get all of these books down. I'm going to... Oh, there's also this stack here of books that I have bought in the past week. It's a rather large stack. If you've seen my other videos, you know why I have so many books that I recently bought. I did a thrift store haul, so a lot of these were thrifted. And then 2 I got at a Books A Million. And then 2 of these I actually didn't buy this week, but I read this week. So we're knocking down that physical TBR. So that's the goal for today. We are going to reorganize my bookshelves, and I'll give you a little tour at the end to see what is next. How stunning this is. All right, every book is off except for my Kingdom Keepers books because I genuinely don't know where they would go right now. And they basically stay here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorder these because these are not in the right order. Also, there's one more book in this series that goes on the bottom. And these are way out of order. Why are these like this? Okay. These are like backwards. I found it. This is the book I was looking for. There's no good way to do this. Oh my god, I have more I forgot about. I think Rick Riordan's gotta be my favorite author at this point. Should I leave it like this for a little bit? This is not working very well. We're gonna move on from that for a sec. I think I'm gonna make some piles because I want a dystopian like part of my shelf. Okay, I think we're officially done with this shelf. Every other book that I have left to do is either going in my book bin downstairs or over on this black bookshelf, which we will do in a minute. But I'm going to walk you through this one first. So, starting over here, we have the entirety of the Riordan verse. Literally all of them. Except for maybe a couple of the companion ones. So, Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus series, Trials of Apollo series. These are the two books that are out in the Percy Jackson Senior Year Adventures. Book 3 doesn't have a release date yet. We think it'll come out sometime next year. The Magnus Chase series sits about here. These are all of my extra books. So I have the deluxe edition of The Lightning Thief. I've got The Lightning Thief and The Throne of Fire graphic novels. I've got a hardback version of The Last Olympian, an alternate cover of The Lightning Thief, Percy Jackson's Greek Gods and Greek Heroes, and then 3 of the paperback Percy Jackson books, books 1, 2, and 4. I have a tiny little book up here, which is the book of the musical for The Lightning Thief, which I love. We've got the Demigod Diaries, the Demigod Files. Here's the Kane Chronicles series. I thrifted all of these, so one's hardback and 2 are paperback. Daughter of the Deep, which is a standalone that's not in the Riordan verse, but I love. The Sun and the Star, whose sequel is coming out in next month, in 2 months, so there's some space for that. Hera by Jennifer Saint is obviously not a Rick Riordan book, but she's up here, and then Lies We Sing to the Sea is up here, as well as 2 Rick Riordan Presents books, Arusha and the End of Time, and City of the Plague God, which are both by other authors, but they're also mythology books, and then The Song of Achilles is here. Behind this, and I'm not going to move these because I've already cut my arm, but behind this, there's a couple of standalones and memoirs that I have, so I have 2 Scott Wells books. He writes kind of lumpy books, if you know, you know. And then we've got Tom Felton's biography memoir, Beyond the Wand, and Leslie Odom Jr.'s Failing Up. We also have the A Chorus Line book of the musical. In the corner, unfortunately kind of hidden, are my Kingdom Keepers books. I have tons of them. I have the entirety of all of them, and then I also have some extra copies depending on what kind they are, so I have all of those. And then I have Peter and the Starcatchers is back here because that was also a Ridley Pearson book co-written by Dave Barry. And then Chris Colfer's The Land of the Stories is back here just because I feel like it vibes together and it fit. In the front here, we've got the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas, which is the only ones I own physically. I really want to get Throne of Glass and Crescent City, but obviously, given the amount of room I have, that'll have to wait. I also have the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is tucked right here because it fit perfectly right there, and it doesn't really fit anywhere else in my bookshelf. I don't own a lot of lit fic because I don't read a lot of lit fic because I don't like a lot of lit fic. Then I've got the entirety of the Hunger Games series, and Divergent is stacked on top of here as well. In the back, behind that, I have Cassandra Clare's The Mortal Instruments series in a box set. I have all of the Harry Potter books, including The Cursed Child is back there. I have the X-Hex by Aaron Sterling, and then Leigh Bardugo's Shadow and Bone trilogy. I do want to read Six of Crows next, but I'm going to try to Libby them first. In the front here, we've got a bunch of my book of the months. A Song to Drown Rivers, A Fate Inked in Blood, Silver Elite, Immortal Longings, Five Broken Blades, The Dagger in the Flame, Rebel Witch, Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli, Phantasma and Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, and then Lauren Roberts, The Powerless trilogy, and then there's one more book coming out, I think next month, that'll go on top of their ladle. I am going to move these over just so I can kind of see what's in the back here, because I think that one in the stack in the back is a bunch of my favorites, so. Right. Back here, down at the bottom, is a book I didn't really like, and that was The Kingdom of Sweets, which is a Nutcracker retelling. I read it around December of last year, didn't love it, but it's a book of the month, but it is going back down there. Then we have the Caraval series in hardback. I have Spectacular, and then I have the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber. We've got my 3 hardback copies of Fourth Wing and the 2 currently out paperbacks of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. And then we've got Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. This is a variety of books. So from the bottom, here, I'll scooch this over so you can see it a little bit better. Haha. Ta-da. We have The Host by Stephanie Meyer, Children of Blood and Bone, Maximum Ride, The Angel Experiment. I have read All of Us Villains. I want to read All of Our Demise, but I can't seem to find it right now. I'd have to order it, and I don't want to do that. I have 2 of Jennifer Lynn Barnes' books. When I read these books, my friend Marley lent them to me, so I've been thrifting, looking for them. So I've got The Hawthorne Legacy and The Brothers Hawthorne. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, Kill for Me, Kill for You, Steve Kavanaugh, Amanda Foodie's Shades trilogy, Holly Jackson's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, and the little novella, and then my 2 V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic. And then, these are going to sit here. I have Assistant and Apprentice to the Villain. I'm waiting for Accomplice to the Villain to come out to complete that. The Sword in the Stars, Bone Weaver, The Warrior Heir, Legendborn, and Trial of the Sun Queen, these are paperbacks. These are kind of weird shaped hardbacks, and then these are paperbacks. So that's the extent of this. I'm now going to move on to my black bookshelf, which is over there, which is going to hold almost all of my contemporary romance. There's a couple of exceptions, but that's where we're going to move to. And then I'll show you the books that I'm going to bring downstairs to my book bin. You can see my sweat. I turned off the air conditioner to talk into my mic because I don't like the feedback on it. And now I'm dripping. So I'm going to turn it back on while I organize this, and then I'm going to turn it back off again. It doesn't help that heat rises and I'm on top of my bed looking at my bookshelves. So let's move on to the black bookshelf. Hi guys, I'm at an awkward angle. I apologize. I am currently on my chair, but I'm like kneeling on it because this is a weird placement in my room. I'm going to take you through my contemporary romance collection from the bottom up. So we have Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer. I also own this on audiobook. Christina Lauren, The Paradise Problem. London Sperry, Passion Project. Gwen and Art Are Not in Love by Lex Croucher. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. Nicola Yoon, Instructions for Dancing and Everything Everything. Beach Read by Emily Henry. The American Roommate Experiment and the Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. And The Summer I Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han. Out of these, I've not read 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't read 9, and I have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So that's pretty good. Okay, everybody. It is now 4:42. I didn't mark when I started doing this, but I've been home since 12:30. It's getting hot, so I'm gonna last but not least, show you the books that are going to go live in my book bin for a while. I have several books down there. I feel bad that they live in my bin, but there's just no space for them up here, especially as my collection grows with books that are my new favorites. Because I usually, for the most part, with the exception of thrifting or buying book of the month books I buy from bookstores tend to be books that I've read already and really enjoy, which might be the way to go for me for now on. I need to chill out with buying books for a while. I was doing really good in June, and then July happened and I thrifted like 20 books. So I am going to retire down to my collection in the book bin. L. Frank Baum, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, beautiful cover. I'm just not going to read it anytime soon. Sticking with that train of thought, I'm also going to retire Wicked down. I thought I would read it with the movie coming out, but I am very well versed in the musical. I love the musical, and I know that while the musical is based on this book, it's loosely based. I'm also going to go retire Frindle, which is a kid's book that I collected from a thrift store. It's one of my favorite kids' books from Andrew Clemens. And then if you saw my thrifting book haul, you would know that I bought A Little Princess and Harriet the Spy. These are going to go live down in my book bin for when I move and I have room for books. This next book I have and I bought, and I didn't like this book, so I will not be continuing with the series, and that is The Hurricane Wars by Taya Guanzon. I am selling this one on my Pango Books. It is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. It's a beautiful book. I actually went to 2 Barnes & Nobles because I wanted to pick up this book, and then I hated it. I didn't realize until halfway through that it is a Raylo fan fiction, basically, which I don't usually have an issue with that necessarily. It's just I didn't like the writing style or the plot, and it was a whole lot. I'm getting rid of it because I really didn't like it and I don't want to see it. And then the next book I'm getting rid of is The Ichabod. This is such a heavy book, and I have no idea why. This is just not up my alley. J.K. Rowling beyond Harry Potter is just not up my alley. I don't think she's done much outside of Harry Potter. And listen, I get it. You gotta go with it. But I just don't agree with what kind of human she is. And not to say that any of the other authors you saw in the library, I agree with what kind of humans they are, but I can enjoy their books. That's why I'm keeping all my Harry Potter books, because I enjoy that series so much. It is a major part of my childhood and nostalgia and all of that. But I'm not going to read this one, and it was gifted to me, and so I don't want it, and it's really heavy. Did I mention it's really heavy? Whew. So, thank you so much for watching my book reorganization video. If you are interested in seeing more of my face, check out some of the other videos on my channel. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment below what your favorite book is that you have in your collection, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you would like to see more book content, make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Caitlin Brune Books. And if you would like to see more of me in general and support my professional career, head over to my dance social media accounts at Caitlin Brune Dance. Thank you so much for watching.